Raceway. Jan Gous is on their out lap. You can feel the tension building. Jan Gous is out on track and getting ready to push for their qualifying time.
It's a delicate balance between taking it easy and pushing hard. Let's see how Jan Gous handles it.
The adrenaline is pumping. Rian van der Westhuizen is on their out lap, warming up the tires and getting ready to put in a fast lap time. This is where the mental game comes into play. Keegan Paxton is taking their time to prepare for their qualifying run.
These are the moments that really matter. Let's see if Keegan Paxton can deliver.
It's all about strategy in these early moments. Chris Foley is taking their time to prepare for their qualifying run and get everything just right. Ernest Heather is on their out lap.
This is the moment they've been preparing for. Let's see if they can execute.
There are just over 5 minutes left in this qualification session. This is what it's all about. Jan Gous is putting on a show for the fans in this qualifying session. You can feel the tension building. Jan Gous is out on track and getting ready to push for their qualifying time.
It's all about finding that balance between staying calm and focused, while also pushing the limits.
Dylan Visage looks to be off the pace. Annie, what do you think they need to do to improve? Wow, look at Jan van der Westhuizen go. They're really turning on the Jets in this qualifying session.
They certainly are. This is shaping up to be a great performance by Jan van der Westhuizen.
Jan van der Westhuizen has just completed that lap in 1:26.868. Their best lap so far is 1:26.868, putting them in P12. Will they be able to hold onto that spot? Someone call the fire department because Chris Foley is setting this track on fire with their performance. Woohoo! Chantal de Jaeger is really turning up the heat out there. I'm getting goosebumps just watching them go. I think I just saw a blur fly by. Oh wait, that's just Jamie Ray Nichols going at lightning speed. JP Brand is not as quick as they were hoping for. They're going to need to dig deep and find some extra pace on this next one if they want to move up the grid.
Well, Mark, they'll need to find those extra tenths of a second by pushing just a little bit harder on the braking and carrying more speed through the corners.
The pressure is on in this qualifying session, but Peter Geldenhuys is rising to the occasion.
Absolutely. Peter Geldenhuys is showing the world what they're made of.
Peter Geldenhuys has completed their first flying lap in 1:25.887. Disappointing performance from Ernest Heather in this qualifying session. Currently in 17th position, they'll need to dig deep and find some extra speed to climb up the leaderboard and secure a better starting position for the race. Peter Geldenhuys has put in a great effort and currently holds 9th. With the session winding down, can they unleash their full potential and improve their starting position?
Great analysis, Mark. Peter Geldenhuys has shown excellent pace to secure 9th. Now, the focus shifts to whether they can use their track position to their advantage in the race.
A disappointing performance from Jamie Ray Nichols so far in this qualifying session. Finding themselves, Jamie Ray Nichols has some work to do as that 129.315 is only good enough for 11th. It hasn't been the best qualifying session for Jan Gous so far. They find themselves in 18th position, which is not where they had hoped to be. However, there's still time left on the clock, and they have the opportunity to make improvements.
I share your thoughts, Mark. Jan Gous is facing a setback in this qualifying session, but they have the resilience to bounce back. They need to stay positive, work closely with their engineers, and find the optimal strategy to make progress.
A tough outing for Jamie Ray Nichols in qualifying today. They currently sit in 11th position, which is far from ideal. However, there's a chance for them to regroup, analyze their data, and make some adjustments to their setup to improve their result. It's been a challenging day for Lyle Ramsey in qualifying. They currently sit in 11th position, which is not reflective of their true potential. With the session nearing its end, they'll need to push hard and extract every ounce of performance to improve their result. It's been a challenging session for Keegan Paxton. They're currently languishing in 14th position. Keegan Paxton has some work to do as that 125.810 is only good enough for 10th.
There's still more time to be had, but I don't know if they are going to find it before the session is over.
Not the ideal start for Chantal de Jager in this qualifying session. Currently in 15th position, they'll be eager to put together a strong final lap to improve their standing. The pressure is on, and they'll need to deliver their best performance.
I completely agree, Mark. Chantal de Jager is in a difficult position, but they have the opportunity to analyze their performance so far and make the necessary adjustments. It's all about regrouping and giving their best shot in the remaining time.
A strong showing from Jamie Ray Nichols as they currently sit in 10th. With the session drawing to a close, they'll need to dig deep and find that extra burst of speed to improve.
Absolutely, Mark. Jamie Ray Nichols has put in a remarkable effort to secure 10th. The competition is fierce, and they'll need to stay focused to defend their position.
It's been a struggle for Chantal de Jager in qualifying. As of now, they find themselves in 15th position, which is well below their expectations. However, motor Chantal de Jager has some work to do as that 128.239 is only good enough for 15. Currently in 6th, Chris Foley has displayed promising speed during the Chris Foley has some work to do as the 235.937 is only good enough for 6th. Impressive work from Dylan Visagi, who has claimed 4th on the grid. Now, the focus is on maintaining their composure and pushing for an even better starting position.
Couldn't agree more, Mark. Dylan Visagi has positioned themselves impressively in 4th. Now, they need to build on this foundation and strive for an even better race result.
There are just over 5 minutes left in this qualification session. Lyle Ramsey has some work to do as that 125.721 is only good enough for 12.
That's not a bad time, but I am sure they can improve further on that.
A tough qualifying session for Martin Meintjes. They're currently mired in 17th position, which is a setback for their ambitions. However, they have the resilience and determination to learn from their mistakes and fight back in the race.
You're spot on, Mark. Martin Meintjes has had a tough time in this qualifying session, but they shouldn't be counted out just yet. With their experience and the support of their team, they might find the extra speed needed to move up the grid.
Disappointing performance from Ernest Heather in this qualifying session. Currently in 18th position, they'll need to dig deep and find some extra speed to climb up the leaderboard and secure a better starting position for the race. A disappointing performance from Lyle Ramsey so far in this qualifying session. Finding themselves in 12th position is certainly not what they were aiming for. However, they have the talent. Lyle Ramsey has some work to do as that 125.386 is only good enough for 8th. A tough outing for Ernest Heather in qualifying today. They currently sit in 15th position, which is far from ideal. However, there's a chance for them to regroup, analyze their data, and make some adjustments to their setup to improve their result. It's Adrian Gous has some work to do, as that 127.187 is only good enough for 19th.
There's still more time to be had, but I dunno if they are going to find it before the session is over.
Annie, the drivers are ready. Let the racing begin?
Yes, Mark, let the racing begin.
Starting from pole position is a great opportunity for Jan Gous to take control of the race. JP Brand lines up in second place as the engines rev and the race begins. And in the third position, it's none other than Anro Stadler.
The South African driver will be focused on a good result from here.
Lining up in fourth is Dylan Visagi.
A strong grid position, and they'll be expecting a solid result today.
At fifth, we have the one and only Michel Rust.
Putting that Legends Ford 30.
And that's the race underway. Some very quick reactions there.
Staying out of trouble in these early moments is crucial. It's a fine line between pushing hard and staying safe.
The racing is normally closely fought here at Killarney International Raceway. I think we are in for a cracking race.
It all comes down to this, Mark, where the rubber meets the road. There's no more time for talk, no more practice. The teams have done all they can. Now it comes down to Jan Gous to bring it home.
All the drivers will be trying to take advantage of the pack whilst they're still bunched up. These early salvos will shape the outcome of this race.
It's always intense racing here at Killarney International Raceway. Hold on to your hats, folks.
This is going to be one hell of a race. I can already feel it. Oh, the pressure is intense. These three drivers are displaying incredible skill and determination. It's like a high-speed chess match out there.
You're absolutely right, Mark. The level of respect these drivers have for each other while pushing their limits is commendable. It's a testament to their professionalism and love for the sport.
We're starting to see who really has the pace now in this race, as Melvin Gous is starting to climb all over the back of Michel Rust. Any closer and they may need to pop the boot.
This is a tight race and Michel Rust is doing a great job of holding them off. It will be interesting to see if Melvin Gous can make a move.
It's a game of cat and mouse out there, with Jan van der Westhuizen trying to find the perfect opportunity to make a move on Peter Geldenhuis. The gap is over a second, but every fraction counts. Can Jan van der Westhuizen close in enough to mount a challenge?
Absolutely. Jan van der Westhuizen in 16th will need to be patient and carefully work to reduce that gap without overdriving it, as they can't afford to take unnecessary risks and risk an off or damaging their car. Let's see if they have what it takes to get back into the game here.
The adrenaline is pumping as Dylan Visagi gets within striking distance of Jan Gous in their race for third. It's looking good for Dylan Visagi, who has gained places and put some distance between the stop the press. Oh my, Michel Rust has had an incident.
It's a real shame. Until this point in the race they'd been looking at a decent result.
The race is really heating up. Keegan Paxton is hunting down Sean Olivier with everything they've got. Oh, this is getting intense. Chantal de Jager is just a few car lengths behind Adrian Gous.
One important aspect here is choosing the right braking points. Chantal de Jager needs to be precise to avoid overshooting and losing valuable time.
This is where the race gets really interesting. Peter Geldenhuys is closing in on Chantal de Jager.
The tension between Peter Geldenhuys and Chantal de Jager is palpable as they battle for P12. No doubt, both drivers know that one mistake could cost them the position. It's a test of nerves as much as skill.
Things are heating up as Lyle Ramsey tries to close the gap to Justin Vermeulen. This is a thrilling moment in the race, with Peter Geldenhuys in 12th defending their position with everything they've got. But Chantal de Jager is relentless, and the gap is less than 0.2 seconds. It's anyone's position at this point. Look at that, Chantal de Jager is hot on the tail of Peter Geldenhuys.
The gap between them is now just over 0.4 seconds. Who will come out on top?
Jan Gous is pushing really hard, but as we know, pushing too hard can lead to other mistakes, like locking up the brakes or missing a shift. These drivers are walking a tightrope between pushing the limits and making costly errors.
Absolutely, it's all about finding that sweet spot where you're pushing the car to its limits without crossing the line into reckless driving. That's where experience and skill come into play. Sometimes you have to take risks to win, but pushing the car too hard can be a costly mistake. Jan Gous needs to be careful not to overdo it.
It's neck and neck, the closest battle we've seen in a while. Now I may be wrong here, but I'm not sure that's the racing line.
Did the wind contribute to that? It's blowing at 7 kph out there right now.
Jan Gous is running fourth. They're trying to catch Dylan Visagi.
That driver is really pushing the limits. They're riding the curves and pushing the car to its limits.
The intensity is off the charts as Peter Geldenhuys hounds Chantal de Jager, both drivers pushing themselves to the absolute limit.
This is the moment where legends are made. These drivers will go down in history as the ones who fought tooth and nail for the top spot.
The gap between Chantal de Jager and Peter Geldenhuys is razor thin as they vie for 12th in this nail-biting contest.
As a former driver, I can tell you there's nothing quite like the adrenaline rush when you're this close to your rival, ready to make your move.
The crowd is on tender hooks as Lyle Ramsey in 14th chases after Chantal de Jager. The gap is just over a second, and you can feel the tension in the air. Can Lyle Ramsey find a way to catch up? This is where the skill and precision of the drivers really comes into play. Michel Rust is chasing Jan van der Westhuizen in P16.
The gap between them is just—
Wait, that won't be ideal for Peter Geldenhuys.
Killarney International Raceway is always a test for these drivers, and sometimes that's the way it goes.
Anrose Stadler appears to be trying to find a way round Dylan Visagi. They could make a move on them in Continental.
Do they have the speed for a move, and more importantly, do they have the talent?
Chantal de Jager seems to be putting the pressure on Lyle Ramsey. While Justin Vermeulen is not under immediate threat from Michel Rust, they still need to stay focused and avoid any errors. Any slip-up could cost them their position. Michel Rust could be looking for a way up the inside of Rian van der Westhuizen.
If you're enjoying the racing, please remember to like and subscribe.
Every move counts now as Chris Foley works to reel in Jan Gous and overtake for P5. The pressure is on for Sean Olivier as they try to catch up to Melvin Gous. The fans are on the edge of their seats. It doesn't get any closer than this.
As an experienced driver, I can tell you that Lyle Ramsey must be laser focused on Adrian Gous's every move, looking for the slightest weakness to exploit.
This is where legends are made. Which driver will rise to the occasion and claim victory? Breaking update. I don't think that's the fastest way around Killarney International Raceway. Dylan Visagi wants to get into Anrose Stadler's slipstream.
And they are poised to capitalize on any mistake, but who's going to make that mistake first?
Heartbreak for Dylan Visagi as they slip down the field. We often hear drivers complaining about tire graining. Annie, can you explain what that means and how it affects car handling?
Graining occurs when small rubber particles roll up on the tire's surface, reducing grip and negatively affecting handling. It usually happens when the tires are not in their optimal temperature window or when a driver is pushing too hard on a cold or overworked tire.
They're giving it everything they've got. It's a battle of nerves as they push the limits of adhesion, going wheel to wheel in a thrilling display of racing prowess.
I couldn't agree more, Mark. The proximity of these cars is incredible. The precision and trust these drivers have in each other is truly remarkable.
Pushing too hard can lead to mistakes, and we're seeing that now. That car is really unsettled as they push for every last bit of speed.
With just 0.4 seconds between them, will Justin Vermeulen be able to keep up the pace and make a pass?
3 cars in perfect formation, creating a moving train on the circuit. They're using the slipstream to gain an advantage, but who will make the decisive move?
Spot on, Mark. This constant back and forth battle is keeping everyone on the edge of their seats. One small mistake could have severe consequences for any of these drivers.
Justin Vermeulen is on a mission, chasing Rian van der Westhuizen, who's desperately trying to stay ahead. This is a thrilling battle as Rian van der Westhuizen edges closer to Michel Rust in their fight for P13.
This is where every inch counts. Rian van der Westhuizen is pushing hard to close the gap on Michel Rust. Absolutely, precision and control are key here. Knowing when to push and when to hold back can be the difference between winning and losing.
Wow, Chris Foley is really pushing hard to catch up to Jan Gous. There's blood in the water for 5th place. An impressive showing from Chris Foley, who has gained positions and left Jan Gous in the dust. Tactics are clearly going to play an important part in this race.
They are gonna need to look after their tires and will want to keep something in them for the crucial latter stages, as their tires wear and fuel levels deplete and the handling changes.
And don't forget the track grip increases as more rubber gets laid down.
Indeed, the conditions are constantly changing and the drivers need to adapt, otherwise it can cost crucial time and jeopardize their position.
It's a game of inches now as Dylan Visagi tails Anro Stadler closely, ready to capitalize on any mistake. Jan Gous is giving it their all as they chase down Chris Foley in P5. This is what it's all about, folks. Melvin Gous is in hot pursuit of Jamie Ray Nichols, who's just trying to stay ahead.
If things go wrong between Melvin Gous and Jamie Ray Nichols, they could be exchanging more than just paint, like maybe a strongly worded post-race chat.
The race is really heating up. Keegan Paxton is hunting down Melvin Gous with everything they've got.
Don't forget the role of aerodynamics. Keegan Paxton should use slipstreaming to their advantage and close the gap to Melvin Gous.
It's a close race between Dylan Visagi and Anro Stadler in third. I'm sure Melvin Gous in ninth is starting to notice Keegan Paxton is right on their tail, and is still closing that gap. Can Melvin Gous, can they hold onto their position?
This could be where Keegan Paxton is gonna dive up the inside. Melvin Gous is going to need to cover the inside and that will compromise their exit speed.
Oh, this is getting intense. Jamie Ray Nichols is just a few car lengths behind Melvin Gous.